Our story begins with our protagonist, Guts, knocking up a baddie in the middle of an open field. I didn't think our guy was a fan of doing it in the great outdoors, but who am I to judge? Turns out the lady was what could be best described as an eldritch abomination. Her genjutsu must be really strong to hide all that. Not gonna lie, my little brother got real limp when I saw this. Turns out this was a succubus who wanted to feast on our boy's essence, but Guts ain't no simp for tentacles. So he grabbed her head, shoved his thick rod down her throat, and blew her head to smithereens. As the hoe's remains cooked up, our boy heads to a nearby city. There he sees a cage filled with women and children being carted off to an unknown place. Reaching a bar, we see a group of men throwing knives at our one and only favorite shota. Not gonna lie guys, I'm not sure what it is I'm seeing here. She looks to be a fairy or an elf. Although since the genitals seem to be non-existent, does that mean that he is a true non-binary creature or is a gender? Whatever the case, it was at this point that our guy enters the bar where he tells the barkeep that he's about to throw hands. As the man readies himself to throw another knife at our poor shota, he is suddenly pierced through the head with an arrow and subsequently pinned to a wooden post. This attracts the other men's attention, but they are turned into pinned cushions by more arrows. Our boy stands there like some dark, traumatized anime protagonist while he loads more arrows. The surviving man finds himself without an arrow through the nose. That's gotta hurt. Guts tells the man to send a message that the black swordsman has arrived, before proceeding to split an attacker in two with his great sword, with the man's torso flying across the room. As Guts leaves, our elven shota followed him from behind. He introduces himself as Puck. He begins to chatter on and on, even attempting to sit on our boy's shoulder, but he gets his butt smacked by Guts. Doesn't our shota knows that he's too small for Guts' rod to fit? Guts even tells him not to get near or he'll be stretched beyond his limits. They are soon surrounded by armed guards and Guts is captured. Deep in a dungeon, Guts is tortured by a man that looks at what would happen if Saitama gained weight and lost all his strength. Soon the Lord of the city appears and blames our boy for the city's potential destruction. But Guts counters and says that Lord only cares for his life and regularly sends people to the monster controlling their lands to be devoured. That's who those women and children in the cage were at the city gates. This caused the Lord anguish as he orders the fat man to continue to torture Guts while keeping him alive. The Lord then heads to the monster's castle where the man with an arrow in his nose was already telling him about Guts. When the Lord meets the Baron and begs for forgiveness, the Baron tosses over an ear to the Lord, which frightens him greatly. The Baron says that he doesn't care about gold and sacrifices. All he cares about is seeing humans in suffering trying to escape, to hear bones crack under the hooves of horses. Back in the dungeon, Guts wakes up and notices a malformed fetus beginning to approach him. He yells at it to leave and it disappears after Puck crashes into the cell holding a set of keys. The cute shota has come to our boy's rescue. He begins to heal Guts' wounds, and as time passes they talk with each when Puck's attention is drawn to a brand that refuses to heal. Our guy seems real depressed. Maybe a song and dance from Puck will make him feel better. When Puck asks why he saved him, Guts laughs and calls him a bug. This hurts Puck's feeling as he headbutts Guts' chin before flying off in tears. Good going, Guts. You made the little one cry. The brand of his neck begins to bleed and he knows that the Baron approaches. In the skies, Puck witnesses the Baron and his men ride through the city, brutality massacring its inhabitants, with the Baron drinking the blood of a child pierced on his spear. The Baron sends his men forward, but Guts appears from under a pile of corpses and spams arrows at them. When his ammunition ended, he pulled out his great sword and decapitated a rider and his horse at the same time, scaring the men and exciting Puck. Baron approaches him speaking about how Guts had been hunting other apostles. He then charged at Guts, who responded with a reloaded crossbow. Unloading the arrows into the Baron's body, he falls off his horse, but he soon stands up like a zombie. Guts reloaded and emptied another clip into the Baron, pushing him through a door. As Guts approaches the entrance, he is suddenly sent flying by a massive serpentine tail. The Baron slowly began to make his way out of the darkness, his new monstrous form revealing itself. He now appeared to be a reptilian beast with a human face in its mouth, standing on its hind legs several meters tall. To be honest, he kinda looks like the serpent before the whole Garden of Eden shit. His men were scared by his appearance and fled while Guts was grabbed by the giant tail and flung to the ground, coughing up blood. The Baron just kept whooping Guts' ass with his tail, with the final blow seemingly knocking him out. The serpent monster picked our boy up, ready to devour him. But just like the monstrous vixen the start of our story, our boy Guts placed his pipe in the creature's face before getting his teeth or releasing his load into the barren mouth. The creature was half dead and screaming in pain while Guts picked up his blade mercilessly split the Baron in two. Blooded and broken, Guts staggered towards the still writhing monster and unloaded another clip into the creature's head with a grin on his face. He questioned the Baron about the location of the God Hand, but the creature said he had no clue. Turning around, Guts left, wishing the monster to enjoy being burned to ashes. Following which the burning roof of a destroyed building fell on the Baron, slowly roasting him like barbecue. And so the Black Swordsman slowly left the razed city behind with nothing but fire and corpses in his wake. Like and subscribe for part 2.